So this lady has been caught and sentenced for 2 child trafficking incident. Problem is, the 2 child trafficking incident involve her own 2 children. Okay, this lady's surname Huang was born in 1999 and only had elementary school education, and she moved from Guangxi to Fuzhou. And in October 2020, Huang, in the early 20s, gave birth to a boy in Fuzhou Hospital, but she was not aware of who was the father and faced financial hardship. She was unable to raise her son, so she initially intended to sell her son for 35,000 RMB, but the landlord knew of a situation and the landlord's son was infertile and wanted a child. So Huang instead sold her first son to the landlord's family for 45,000 RMB. And 2 years later, in 2022, Huang got pregnant again and gave birth to another baby boy. And after giving birth to him mere days later, actually sold him to a middleman for 38,000 RMB. The proceeds she got from the sale of a second child were all spent on rewarding live gaming streamers and purchasing clothes. In April 2022, Huang was reported for suspected fraud, and that actually led police to discover her child trafficking history in her phone records. Both trafficked children of hers have now been rescued and sent to local civil affairs authorities. Huang has now been sentenced to 1 year 8 months imprisonment and 10,000 RMB fine for fraud, and 4 years 5 months imprisonment and 20,000 RMB fine for child trafficking. So now Huang has been sentenced to a combined sentence of 5 years 2 months imprisonment and 30,000 RMB fine. And the people that bought the child from her 2 sons, the first buyer has been sentenced to 9 months in prison and the second buyer has been sentenced to 7 months in prison. This story is just alarming to read because it shows how someone's lack of education and parental guidance can lead them to making such drastic actions with little consequences or bearing on love for their own children.